Hello everybody, welcome back to the most controversial YouTube series that has ever existed, and that is of course, Jester Ranks Off. This week we are touching on something that's near and dear to my heart, maybe to many other people's too. It just passed Pokemon Day, so this video is coming out very timely, you know, a week later. But we are ranking the Pokemon from Generation 1, and those are the first 150, let me just double check, that's 150. First 151 Pokemon that came out for the Pokemon franchise. Now, I'm not about to go through all of them for you. If you don't know who any of them are, I will tell you who they are as I go. But yeah, the first 151. This could be a long video. So, you know, if you've got not a lot of time, watch some of it now, pause it, and then go away from it and then watch it again. I think that counts as a second view, so feed me more. But let's get started, shall we? We're going in Pokedex order. I did toy with the idea of going with a bit more of an alphabetical order, just so it's a bit unpredictable with who's coming next. I suppose alphabetical technically is predictable. Whatever. Point is, it's in Pokedex order. And who do I have to thank for this one? At Jonas Das Quebrada. Probably have his name up, but there you go. Go follow him. And thank you once again to tiermaker.com for making the possibilities of these lists. That's probably how to phrase things. Anyway, let's get started, shall we? Immediately, we've got Bulbasaur. Bulbasaur is, as we know, one of my favourite Pokemon. As you can tell from my shirt, I'm very much a grass starter guy. As you can tell behind me there, full of Bulbasaurs. So, sorry guys, immediately I'm going to put Bulbasaur in S tier. We're starting off strong. But we only go down from here. Ivysaur is... Ivysaur's okay, but I'm not the biggest fan of Ivysaur. It's a bit of a... It is Bulbasaur, but tougher looking. But also, the flower makes it look a little bit girly. Which, you know, you could talk about Bulbasaur. He starts off as the beginning of a flower, which is manly. What's more manly than a flower that's not even grown yet? It's like, I'm just going to stay here in my shell. Unfortunately, Ivysaur is a bit of a C tier Pokemon. And then we get to Venusaur. This is going to be maybe shocking to anyone who is watching this and thinking, you know what, Jester likes Bulbasaur, must like the entire evolution line. Nah. Venusaur is a D tier Pokemon. It looks like a toad that got into the tropical fruit juice. It just looks silly. I don't like it. It's like they took Bulbasaur and went splat, and then just decided to draw like a beautiful flower on top of it. But then that beautiful flower looks like that one that smells like rotting meat. I forget what it's called, but it lives in the tropical forest. Apparently it really stinks. That's what it looks like. So Venusaur, D tier Pokemon all day. Charmander, no, that's Raticate. Who the fucking invited Raticate? Go back to where you were. Charmander. Now, this is almost going to go in the opposite way a little bit, because Charmander, there's nothing offensive about Charmander. Charmander's an okay Pokemon, which is why he's going to stay in the B tier. But it's not that cool a design, it's not that cute, I guess. It looks a bit more of a... It looks like an edgy kid that just said, Mom, is it okay if I go play with my friends? And those friends are pelting old people with stones. I don't like Charmander for that reason. Charmeleon is Charmander, but a teenager with peanuts on his head, which is a D tier Pokemon. Charizard. Now, this is a bit of a difficult one, because, in all fairness, Charizard is pretty cool. But outside of Pikachu, he's probably the most saturated Pokemon possible. I think in every gimmicky thing that Pokemon has ever done, as far as the games are concerned, he's had some kind of version. I think he's had a unique Z move. I think he's had a unique Mega Evolution. He's got a Gigantamax, whatever you want to call it. Charizard's okay, to be honest. I'm not against Charizard, but there's a bit too much Charizard in the world for him to be considered absolutely, you know, super cool. So I'm happy with Charizard being an A tier, if I'm honest. Squirtle. Squirtle is actually a little cool dude. Massively undersaturated, actually. You don't see much in the way of Squirtle. Squirtle probably gets the least amount of love out of all the Kanto starters. And why should he? He's a cute little turtle with a squirrel tail. He also has his own episode in the Pokemon anime where it's the Squirtle Squad, and they've all got sunglasses on. They look very cool. I'll be honest, I think Squirtle's an A tier Pokemon. He's pretty cool. Wartortle is actually alright as well. It kind of loses a bit of the charm, again, of Squirtle. It's a similar process to how Bulbasaur and Ivysaur goes. Wartortle is Squirtle, but like a bit cooler, a bit edgier, a bit more likely to pour gasoline, or petrol, or benzene into your letterbox and then light a match and say, no idea what happened here, officer. I think I'm gonna put Wartortle in B tier. B's fine for Wartortle, I think. And then Blastoise. Now, chat, I know what you're thinking. I say chat all the time because I'm usually a streamer. Twitch.tv/Jestertainment. Now, I know what you're thinking. Blastoise is just a stupid turtle who's got little cannons shooting out of his thing. Now, anything that has its own weapons, if it's coming to the gun show with nothing but what it already has on, then how can that not be a very, very cool Pokemon? Now, is it S tier? I don't think so, but it is in fact an A tier Pokemon. Blastoise all day. He's hit. Listen, if he walks through airport security, he goes beep 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 beep. Sorry, sir, have you got any concealed weapons? He's like, yeah, these fucking guns. And he's, you know, you can't stop him getting on the flight. They're part of his body. You can't surgically change somebody if they're trying to go to, I don't know, abroad. So, yeah, there we go. He's absolutely an A-tier Pokemon all day, every day. Caterpie, the quintessential little bug Pokemon. If you picked a Fire Starter, Twisted Fire Starter, you're burning him alive. If you caught a Pidgey, caught a Spearow, caught a Hoot Hoot, you're just destroying him with your early flying moves. Caterpie sucks. Caterpie is a little bit adorable, in all fairness. You know what? I'm keeping him in the B tier. No, I'm not putting him in the C tier. He's about as cool as Ivysaur, and that's not at all. Metapod. Harden. Butterfree. Butterfree's cool. Butterfree has a female form, allegedly, which is pink, which isn't technically true, but they did it for the anime because they couldn't just put a penis and vagina on the Butterfrees, which to me would be a funnier way to go about it, but that's just me. I'm not against seeing a Butterfree with a penis or vagina. I think Butterfree's just alright. It's nothing amazing. It's a butterfly. What more is there to say about that? Now, if we're talking about the Gigantamax, pretty fucking cool. But, yeah, I think Butterfree's just alright, I guess. Weedle. Kakuna. Beedrill. Now, again, you come into a fight with your weapons already ready. It's just very, very cool. Am I okay with Beedrill poison stinging my Pokemon when I'm playing Pokemon games? Not particularly, but at least it's not Weedle. Weedle's pathetic, and we didn't talk about it, but Weedle is like one of the most annoying Pokemon that exists because it's weak as fuck. It doesn't give you much in the way of experience when you're leveling up. I know I'm drawing a lot of different from games, from anime, stuff like that. And it can poison you. It's the most inconvenient fucking thing in the world. And then it dies and doesn't do anything. It's just annoying. But Beedrill's cool. Beedrill, I think, is an A-tier Pokemon. That's it. That Beedrill turned into a Weedle. Right. Wow. That Beedrill conversation turned into... Oh my god. Turned into a Weedle rant. Usually I'd cut all that out, but you need to know how stupid that sentence was for me to say. Pidgey. Pidgey is the Pokemon that you grab very early on. Or its version. You know, every Pokemon game has a version of Pidgey. The coolest being Fletchling and his line. But yeah, Pidgey's the one you grab if you've got a bug Pokemon to deal with. You've got other shit that flying strong against. Pidgey's C tier. It's not great. Pidgeotto has the atypical, trendy, hipster, knobhead haircut going on. So unfortunately for that, it's a D tier Pokemon. But now we get to Pidgeot. Pidgeot is actually quite cool. It does share similar hair to the Pidgeotto, but it's got a streak in it. Now, as we all know, anyone who's got two-tone hair, automatically incredibly cool. You can't really deny... You walk past someone and go, wow, they've got 2 colours in their hair. That's only 3 off that McFly song. That girl with 5 colours in her hair. That's pretty damn cool. Pidgeot is okay. I think Pidgeot stays in the B tier. Honestly, I'm gonna be a bit more fair. Pidgey sucks. Pidgey's annoying. Pidgeotto is okay, but like the haircut, yeah, Pidgeot's alright. We'll allow it. Now, on the subject of annoying Pokemon, you're going through, you know, early level areas. You're just cracking on. You're getting shit killed. Mostly 1-hitting stuff. Sometimes 2-hitting. But usually the Pokemon you're fighting gets 1 hit at most. Usually it's a string shot. Rattata, at a certain level, gets a quick attack that apparently becomes the only move that fucking Pokemon knows because all it does is spam quick attack. Your Pokemon are guaranteed to take some form of damage because of a slightly higher leveled Rattata. Rattata is annoying as shit and it needs to be thrown in a volcano. Raticade, on the other hand, has a different issue, Raticate has Hyper Fang, and Hyper Fang does so much fucking damage for a weak-ass normal Pokemon that it's just disrespectful. It's stupid. I don't like it. You're D tier. Spearow. Now, I'm not against Spearow because his entire face is a beard. But it's not the best Pokemon. They are kind of annoying. They're one of the few that show up all the time. If you've got a Grass starter, they start off with Peck, so they end up doing quite a lot of damage to them while you're trying to level them up. It's a C tier Pokemon at best. Fearow, again, I've talked about this before. Fearow has the rubber glove, like, chicken head thing going on. I don't like it. It looks stupid, and that's why I've thrown it immediately into D tier. Ekans. Ekans is snake backwards, and I'm all about clever wordplay, so we're going to leave that in B tier. Now, Arbok is Cobra backwards, and as we know, Cobras are very cool. Arbok also has, like, the cool patterning going on there. I don't know if it can have different versions of that. It's a shame they haven't introduced it, but it does look like insane clown posse makeup. So as we all know, Arbok backwards is Cobra. He's also a Juggalo. Now, I'm no expert on Juggalos or the insane clown posse, but I think that's one of the A tier Pokemon for sure. Snakes are cool as well. Let's be fair. Pikachu. Pikachu is everywhere. Have you looked in a shop today? There's a Pikachu. Have you been to Japan today? The whole country is Pikachus. It's a pretty okay Pokemon. It's used as the mascot for virtually fucking everything. There's an incredible oversaturation of Pikachu. But it's one of the few electric Pokemon that actually looks really cool in Generation 1. So for that reason, I'm quite happy to keep Pikachu in the B tier. But then we get to Raichu. Raichu is Pikachu, but way cooler. I don't know why people love Pikachu so much. Raichu is so much more kick-ass than Pikachu. Again, one of the coolest looking electric Pokemon in Generation 1 as well. He's an A tier. All day, every day. Sandshrew. Now look at this dude. He is a shrew that is made of fucking brick. First of all, how do you defeat that? That sounds like the most incredible Pokemon ever. But secondly, he turns into a ball, rolls around, and knocks the fuck out of people. I think that's fantastic. I think that's great. Now, if I was going on my personal opinion of what my favourite Pokemon are, I would be putting Sandshrew in the S tier. So what I'm going to do is, instead of doing that for my own personal reasons, I'm going to put him in A tier because he's very cool, resistant to electric, can kick ass. Surprise, surprise though, Sandslash even cooler. Loses the brick effect, that's fine. Gains spikes on the back, so when it rolls it does even more damage. It stabs people, just while having a roly-poly. I think Sandslash is also an A tier Pokemon. Sandslash is pretty damn cool. Now we get to some not so cool Pokemon. We get to Nidoran. Female specifically. It looks like a guinea pig that got stabbed with a steroids needle and then just started screaming for help. It's not a great Pokemon. It kinda sucks. It's not terrible. It's a nice Pokemon to have early on, so we're going to put it into the C tier. And by extension, there's not much more to say about Nidorina. Now, look at Nidoqueen. I know what you're thinking. It doesn't look that great. Can we talk about the fact that Nidoqueen has her underwear on the outside of her body? That is clearly a bra and briefs she is wearing. Now, for me personally, maybe you don't like people, you know, exposing themselves or exposing skin in public. I think that's a very big show of I don't give a fuck, come at me world. I'm all about quality. Let's get everyone out in their underwear. Let's all hang out in public together, kind of nude. Nidoqueen's an A. Absolutely, all day, every day. She's a 9 out of 10. Anyway, Nidoran Male. Nidoran Male looks cooler, mostly because Nidoran Male is purple. Nidoran Male also has a very cool little spike on his head. I think that the Nidoran line, male line, is better than the female line, so I'm gonna give it a B tier for that one. Similar thing to the starters, really. Nidorino is just the previous Pokemon, but edgier and cooler. But again, purple. Still a B tier Pokemon. And now we get to Nidoking. Nidoking is actually really awesome as well. One of the cool Pokemon. Also purple, very important. Sorry, I'm stuck on it, but look. I like purple. He's a very kick-ass Pokemon. He's one of those that, when I come against it in a match, I don't know how to handle it because I'm like, it's got a typing. I'm just not quite sure what that typing is. Very cool looking Pokemon. Full respect to the King and Queen of Nido. I'm going to chuck him in A. Absolutely. Glyphith! Clefairy. Clefairy is okay. Once upon a time, Clefairy was a normal type Pokemon. And there was a conspiracy that Clefairy / Clefable and Gengar were the same Pokemon. Just one was alive and one was dead. But nowadays, Clefairy is fairy and kicks Gengar's ass. So, was it the other way around? I forget which. Anyway, Clefairy is okay. It's a bit annoying. It's a bit of a C-tier Pokemon. By extension, Clefable is just Clefairy, but someone grabbed its head and pulled it upwards. So, it's C-tier as well. Now on some little cuties. Vulpix is adorable as fuck. It's got Roar, which, you know, when you try to catch it is incredibly annoying. But it's a very cute little Pokemon. I'm all about the Vulpix. Vulpix is an A-tier Pokemon. Ninetails. Now, every time I see a picture of Ninetails, I am forced, like some kind of junkie, to count the tails and make sure there is, in fact, 9 tails. Now, I have verified there is 9 tails here. Ninetails is a fire type, which in its Alolan version, it becomes fire and ice. Fairy and ice, which is kind of weird. Pretty sure fire has an advantage over both. But Ninetales is a very cool Pokemon. It's one of the early fire Pokemon you want to grab, or I suppose Vulpix into Ninetales, if you don't start off with Charmander in Gen 1. So I am going to put Ninetales as an A-tier Pokemon also. I know, shocking. Jigglypuff sings, and that's about it. D-tier. Wigglytuff. I am you, but stronger. It's not a cool Pokemon, though. It looks kind of stupid. It's also D-tier. Zubat. Yeah, we can get into that. Golbat. Now, let's talk about Golbat. I am not an anatomy expert. Never claimed to be. Never have said so. Golbat is just a giant fucking mouth with wings and feet. How does it eat? I don't understand how Golbat works. It doesn't make sense. Now, I suppose you could look at some of these other Pokemon and go, how does that one work, streamer? How does that one work? Golbat is a mouth. It's a flying mouth. How does that work? Anyway, Golbat's cooler than Zubat, so it's a C tier. Oddish. Oddish is... Do you know what? I'm not against an Oddish. Oddish is kind of cute. It's a little ball of dumbass. But it's not the greatest of Pokemon. There's not a lot going for Oddish. It uses a lot of sleep and poison powders when they're wild, which I don't like. Disrespectful. Absorb a lot as well. Yeah, I think Oddish is okay. But then we get to Gloom. Gloom looks like someone who just got told a story, couldn't quite comprehend it, and just started dribbling. Like a 9-year-old, basically, who doesn't really understand what it's being told, and then ate some paste. Also, it looks like something else, which is kind of disgusting. Gloom is like thrown in a volcano. I actually don't like Gloom at all. No respect at all for the Gloom. And by extension, Vileplume is also a D-tier Pokemon. I just don't like it. Murdo has an obsession with its stupid little dance that it does. I don't respect that at all. It's stupid. Vileplume has a flower for a hat. And as we discussed, Pokemon that have flowers are stupid. Except for Bulbasaur, because Bulbasaur doesn't have a flower. It's a bud. And you all need a bud in your life. Paras. Paras is... What is Paras? Paras... I always used to think it was a bit of a crab, but it's not. What is it? Is it a louse? Is it some kind of mite? I still don't know what Paras is. But Paras is alright. I'm okay with Paras. By extension, Parasect. As we can see, the white of the eyes completely taken over there by the mushrooms that existed previously. It's a zombie Pokemon, basically. I don't particularly like it. I think it looks a bit silly. It's not thrown to volcano levels, but it's still a bit meh. So it's very, very C tier. Venonat. Venonat is a little... Basically, Venonat is what Karibo would be from Yu-Gi-Oh! If it became a bug Pokemon. Very furry. Just feet and hands. It's very cute. It's alright. B tier. But its evolution, Venomoth, I'm struggling to place where I'd put this, because while it's quite a cool Pokemon, I'm not a big fan of moths. They eat clothes, they get everywhere, they cover your lights if you leave a window open in the summer. Venomoth's a bit of a disrespectful Pokemon, so I'm going to go C tier for this one. Diglett is a penis with a face, that is just alright. Dugtrio is 3 penises with 3 faces. That's alright too. Meowth. That's right. Meowth is kind of cool. Got a coin on its head. One of its main attacks is to throw money at things, which, to me, I'm no expert, but if you're going to make it rain as a weapon, I think that's pretty fucking baller. It's very cool. It's also a cat Pokemon, as we know. I'm okay with cats these days, so I am going to put Meowth in the A tier. Meowth is very cool. Persian, by extension, it's okay. It's not got the same, like, cool personality as Meowth. Like, Meowth looks cool. He looks like, yeah, look at me, I got money, eh? And then Persian is just like, meow, I'm a big long cat. Now, a long cat is hilarious, but it's not that long cat. So I'm going to put Persian in the B tier. I think that's okay. Psyduck. Now, I've never mentioned much about Psyduck, but I have very big respect for Psyduck. Psyduck is every person in their early to late 20s on this planet. Constantly has a headache. Constantly confused by everything. Somehow he's holding it all together. But sometimes he just can't hold it all together, and there is an explosion of pain for everybody involved. If that's not every millennial on this planet, I don't know what is. For that reason, Psyduck is actually an S tier Pokemon. He's very cool, and he's just trying to hold it together. And I think he's doing a great job. Golduck, on the other hand, is what happens when a platypus gets an idea that it can be more than it is, but it really isn't. Also, can we talk about how both Meowth and Psyduck are just like, you know, whatever, duck, cat, whatever. Persian and Golduck both have these, like, red spots on their head. Like, what did they do? Just suddenly evolve a gem on their head? What happened? What is that for? Is that for tapping into unseen powers? I don't understand. You're both alright, Pokemon. Mankey. Mankey is the Pokemon you go for if you want an early fighting type. Very good if you're an idiot and chose Charmander and you need to defeat the first rock gym. Get yourself a Mankey. Mankey's okay. Mankey is a ball of monkey with big arms and legs. I'm okay with it. It's alright. But I'm going to put it in C tier because it can, in levels of alrightness, Primeape is a bit cooler. He's more hench, he's got more muscle, he's angry, he's ready to throw a punch. I can't really see it there, but usually Primeape has like boxing gloves on as well. Very cool. He bringing his own weapons to the fight. Primeape actually is an A tier Pokemon. You know what? Have that. Fight me. Growlithe. Growlithe's a little cutie. Again, depending on what version of Pokemon you'd be playing. We're assuming red and blue. You're going to end up with Vulpix or Growlithe. Growlithe is cooler than Vulpix. I don't know about cuter than Vulpix. But if I'm going to put Vulpix at A tier, I think I'm going to have to put Growlithe at A tier as well, just for fair balance. Now, you talk about cool-ass Pokemon. You're talking about Arcanine. Arcanine has a move called Extreme Speed. What does that do, Brock? It lets Growlithe move at extreme speed. Perfect. Great meme. Arcanine is one of the coolest Pokemon that exists in Generation 1. He's probably the quintessential fire type as well if you didn't go for a Charizard. Again, you go for Bulbasaur if you're smart. So, for that reason, Arcanine is an S tier Pokemon all day, every day. Poliwag. Now, in the interest of fairness, again, Poliwag is one of my favourite Pokemon, so I would probably put it up to S tier if it was up to me. Unfortunately, Poliwag is, other than being an absolute little cutie, isn't really that fantastic. I think I'm comfortable with him being in the B tier, and by extension, Poliwhirl. His idle animation is basically him flossing, so that's pretty cool, as we all know. Any Pokemon that does a Fortnite dance has an idle animation. Very cool. But other than that, it's not a whole lot going on. I do wonder where its mouth went. But we get to Poliwrath. Poliwrath, outside of Generation 1 games, is actually a water fighting type, which, to my knowledge, isn't all that common. Very cool. He's basically a giant fisting frog, without being a frog. That's how the whole Poliwag, its tadpole line goes. I think he's a very cool Pokemon. He's one of my favourites. I'm going to put him into the A tier. That's where he belongs. Abra. Abra is a pain in the ass, and if you want to catch one, you have to hope you can throw a single ball or get it on a status effect like Hypnosis or something to be able to catch it. It's a pain in the ass. I fucking hate Abras. Throw it in the volcano. Now, we get to a very cool Pokemon. We're talking about Pokemon that come with their own tools and weapons and stuff. Kadabra is ready for an ice cream eating contest. He comes with his own spoon, which is alright. That's pretty cool. Now, who do you call if you want someone to win an ice cream eating contest. The Pokemon with 2 spoons, ready to go 2 fucking scoops at a time, motherfucker. He is getting in there. He's got a mustache, which does raise suspicions, but he does have 2 spoons also. I think very A tier indeed. Now we get to another evolution line that I do question. Machop is alright. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Machoke has his own championship belt. What is he the champion of? We'll never know. Nobody can get close enough to read that belt before getting a face full of fist. If we're talking about Pokemon that, you know, are very cool, this Pokemon is called Machamp. Machamp has 4 arms. By extension, 4 hands. You know what 4 hands are for? Petting 4 cats at the same time. Machamp is a super cool Pokemon. Very, very S tier Pokemon indeed. Now, we're on to a line I don't like, and that is the Bellsprout line. Bellsprout is a walking plant which is ready to give a blowjob at a moment's notice. Not a big fan of Horny being a replacement for a personality. D tier Pokemon. By extension, Weeping Bell also. Now, we get to Victory Bell. I'm no expert, but a blowjob with teeth isn't the most pleasant experience. That Pokemon has evolved teeth, showing that it is no longer ready to just be handing out blowjobs. It also has a leaf to deny entry to anyone it's not a fan of. Victory Bell, for that reason, is slightly better than Weeping Bell and Bellsprout, but only just. It's not a cool Pokemon. It looks like someone mashed a pear up and added leaves to it. It's not cool at all. Now, if you've seen any hentai, you know where this is going. This is Tentacool. Tentacool has 2 tentacles, therefore finds it very hard to stop anyone from escaping his grasp, and therefore can avoid the implication. I do feel as though it's a bit of a C tier Pokemon. It's not great. Let me just roll that down so we can see. Big list, big list. We're here all day. But Tentacruel, not only having the name, a word cruel in its name, which is very, very cool, has a million tentacles there. So if Tentacruel doesn't want anyone to escape, they ain't escaping. Tentacruel is a B tier Pokemon. Other than, you know, jokes aside, it's okay. It's an octopus Pokemon. Not an octopus. It's a jellyfish Pokemon, so whatever. Geodude has dude in the name. Very cool. He's a floating rock with fucking fists. Would you mess with that in a dark alley? I certainly wouldn't. Geodude is absolutely an A tier Pokemon. All day, every day. Graveler is Geodude with feet and some kind of herpes infection, which puts it down to a C tier Pokemon. Golem is pretty cool, actually. Again, we like Pokemon that can roll into a ball and knock 7 bells of shit out of people. I'm a very big fan of that. Other than that, it can't reach to scratch its own nose, which isn't very cool. If it's got an itch down below, it can't reach that either. It's got the T-Rex problem with the short arms. So Golem is just alright. It's just alright. Ponyta is a horse on fire. Now, if you entered the Grand National with a horse on fire, many things would happen, but least of all, you'd probably be arrested for setting a horse on fire. Not cool. Ponyta is an okay Pokemon. It's alright. Rapidash, meanwhile, is a horse on fire, but bigger, which is also just alright. Slowpoke is a very cool Pokemon. Most of the time, you'll ask him questions, he'll look at you and go, now that's adorable, very cute, very cool indeed. Slowpoke is a A-tier Pokemon. Indeed, indeed, indeed. Slowbro, on the other hand, again, bro in the name, very cool. Unfortunately, too stupid to realise a Pokemon that we've never seen before, Cloyster, has bit its tail. It's too happy doing the face to notice its tail has been clamped onto. For that reason, Slowbro is just alright. You know, up to a point, dumbassness is kind of funny and kind of cute. If you're at the point where you're being bitten by something and you're not noticing that, you're too stupid for me to hang out in my crew. You're just alright. Please leave, though. Magnemite. Magnemite is a... What is Magnemite? It's got magnets on it. We don't know how they work. There's a screw in his head. The screw's here. I don't know what they do. Are they nipples? Are they supposed to be hands? What's going on here? Magnemite's okay. By extension, Magneton's okay, because that's 3 Magnemites put together. These are really lazy designs, by the way, right next to each other. Magnemite and Diglett and Natron, and Dugtrio. They're just lazy designs. I know people take the mick out of Gen 5. It's just me, actually. I take the mick out of Gen 5 a lot for being, like, kind of lazy with its designs. But, yeah, Magneton's... Yeah, I don't know what's going on there. I'm just going to move on. We have Farfetch'd. Farfetch'd has a Monobrow, which means it's a C-tier Pokemon. We don't respect Monobrow at all. I'm realizing we're running out of space here, so I might have to do some editing and zooming. Dodrio! No. Yes, Dodrio. We've talked about it before. It's a flightless bird with 2 heads. Dodrio has 3 heads and a tail. Doesn't make it any cooler, he's still a C-tier Pokemon. Seal is constantly blemming, which is very cute. Very cute little Pokemon. I think Seal is a B-tier Pokemon. The very definition of. Dugong? What can you say about Dugong? Dugong is Seal, but like almost slightly cuter because it hasn't got like the weird face stuff going on. It's just like... I think Dugong belongs in the B. That's fine. That's fine. Grimer. Grimer is a pile of crap made into a Pokemon. Throw it in a volcano. Muck is a bigger pile of crap made into a Pokemon. Throw that into a volcano. Shelder. Shelder also blemming constantly. Just bloom. I don't know. I think Shelder is a bit of a C-tier Pokemon. But its evolution, Cloyster, the Haunted Vagina, if you're a child, is a very cool Pokemon. It's got the whole clamp action going on. It's got spikes all over it. It's very evil looking. It's just like, ugh. So I think Cloyster is actually an A-tier Pokemon. All day, every day. Ghastly. Ghastly is actually kind of cool as well. Just a floating ball of gas that got pissed off with somebody and somehow became a ghost Pokemon. That's pretty alright. Haunter is, by extension, kind of cool as well. Loses the gaseous nature, but gains some hands and still has quite an evil look to him. That's alright, that is pretty cool. If we're talking about Gengar now, Gengar is a purple, angry ghost with red eyes and a very, very mischievous grin. I love Gengar. Gengar's very cool. Has a very cool Gigantamax version in Sword and Shield. For that reason, Gengar is an S-tier Pokemon. I'm making an ideal list up here of just powerful Pokemon. Onix is the rock snake Pokemon, as they call it. I quite like an Onix. I don't really know what to say positive, but I don't really know what to say negative either. I think Onix is a very okay Pokemon, very alright Pokemon. I think it's quite good in the B tier. Drowsy looks like he has a penis for a nose and only his bottom half on. He thinks he's the opposite of Donald Duck, but it's not as cute. I'm going to throw you into D tier because you suck. Hypno tries to steal children. D tier. Krabby. Krabby is a Pokemon that is a crab. I know. The name doesn't give it away at all. It's fine. It's not that good, though. It's kind of like just hanging out. It's quite a good water Pokemon to have if you need a water Pokemon. I personally prefer Poliwrath out of the ones I've said so far. Crab is alright. And by extension, Kingler... What does Kingler gain? Kingler is literally Krabby, but bigger. And again, when that happens, you can't really say anything bad or good about it. It just looks the same, but bigger. And that's not really impressive to me. That's an alright. Voltorb. Voltorb is a Pokeball that got given eyes. It's alright, it's C tier. Electrode is a Pokeball that got turned upside down, then given eyes and a mouth. It's a C tier. Execute. Now, Pokemon still doesn't make sense to me. One is cracked open. How does it work? How does it evolve into a palm tree with coconuts? A sentient palm tree with coconuts, I should mention. It's a C tier Pokemon. And Executor, you know what? I'm actually going to leave it in B tier because it's kind of cool. I kind of like the whole leafy look going on. It almost looks like it's got a leaf hat on. 3 heads rather than the previous 5. Not sure where the other 2 have gone. Very unexplained. But it is literally just a palm tree that's been given legs. It's alright. Cubone is a cutie, which is a little bit creepy. Allegedly, the skull it's wearing is the skull of its mom. I'm a little bit uncomfortable with that. I personally wouldn't wear the skull of my mother. For a start, it wouldn't fit. My head's bigger. I just don't know. Cubone alright, I think, as by extension is Marowak. Again, I got nothing good but nothing bad to say about them, so I'm quite happy to leave them in that situation. Hitmonlee, it looks like a chicken drumstick, which gains sentience. I'd throw it in a volcano, personally. Hitmonchan, again, we talk about bringing your weapons as part of your form. I quite like Hitmonchan. Even though it's wearing a dress, which is a bit embarrassing for it, I think the boxing glove aesthetic kind of saves it and throws it into the A tier for me. Lickitung. Now, as someone who on a regular basis runs up to his girlfriend and goes bleh at her just to annoy her, I am a big fan of Lickitung. Unfortunately, the way it was portrayed in the Detective Pikachu movie was incredibly gross. It was very sloppy, just went bleh all over somebody. Licktung's alright, we'll leave it in the alright category. Govig! You can tell which Pokemon I like a bit more because I'm starting to do their voices. Coughing is kind of cool. It's just like a big floating purple rock that just spews out gas. It's pretty alright. Wheezing is 2 of those, which is, you know, alright. They've got the skull and crossbones going on, which is kind of cool. Yeah, I think they're both B tier Pokemon, if I'm being absolutely honest. I'll be honest, there's a lot more B tier than I thought there'd be. Rhyhorn, what can you say? Rock ground, weak to grass, weak to water. It's alright. God, I'm going to scroll down now, this is ridiculous. I'll have to show you like the full list once I'm done. Rhydon is actually a lot cooler. He gains, what's the word? Ambi? There's a word beginning with ambi. He starts standing on 2 legs, so now he's not reliant on just being like this all the time. He's like this, strong and powerful. Bipedal, that's it, or bipedal. He can grab things now. He's got a bigger horn. The tail's more impressive. You can ride it as a Pokemon in Let's Go. I think Rhydon's actually an A tier Pokemon. That's absolutely fine. Chansey, what are the chances? Well known because it was part of the Pokemon Center in the anime. Carries an egg for some reason. Looks like a bald man who still has the hair going on here, but in pink. Chansey's a C tier Pokemon, I think. Tangler is... Every time I see Tangler, and it's supposedly like, you know, a body covered in vines, I just want to shave it and see what's inside of the Tangle. It doesn't make any sense. It's upsetting. Is it offensive in any way? I think a Tangler is a bit of a C tier Pokemon. It's a bit meh. It's not cool. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Kangaskhan. Kangaskhan is 2 Pokemon in 1. Still don't quite understand how Kangaskhan work because they come out of an egg as the 2 Pokemon. How does that work? It doesn't make any sense. Is it a symbiotic relationship? Is the baby Kangaskhan somehow a parasite? I'm not sure, but I think Kangaskhan is a B tier Pokemon. Horsey. It's a seahorse Pokemon. It's alright. Seadra, on the other hand, very cool. He's got the spikes, making him look a lot quicker, a lot more cooler, a lot edgier. I think Seadra is a bit more of an A tier Pokemon. Again, not a bad water type to have if you're in the market for one. Goldeen. Goldeen is basically a goldfish that got lip fillers. So for that, D tier. Seaking is a carp which got lip fillers and a horn. For that reason, D tier. Staryu is a starfish that gained a gem. For that reason, fine in B tier. Absolutely fine. Starmie is purple and also 2 starfish stuck together. Maybe dangerous. Bigger gem. Also an alright Pokemon. Mr. Mime. If Mr. Mime didn't haunt your dreams as a child, you're very lucky. Mr. Mime is a terrifying Pokemon. Shouldn't exist. Should probably be on some kind of register. Throw it in a volcano. Cypher is super cool. Again, bringing its weapons as part of its body to the party. I think Cypher is all day, every day an S tier Pokemon. Don't even at me. Nicki Minaj, Jinx. Terrifying Pokemon. Don't like it. Wish it would go away. Got the lip fillers. Into the D tier. Electabuzz. This is a weird group of Pokemon. The Electabuzz, Magmar, Pinsir, Cypher, Jinx thing. Because they're all humanoid Pokemon of different elements. Some of them look cooler than others. I think Electabuzz is kind of cool, actually. I am quite happy to keep Electabuzz with its whole yellow and black aesthetic in B tier. Magmar, on the other hand, has boobs on its head, it's got duck lips, it looks ridiculous, it's very bulbous in places that it shouldn't be bulbous. While it would enjoy it, it is D tier, throw it in a volcano. Pinsir, again, very B tier for me. It looks like a bug, which is, you know, its type, it's very cool. But it has like the pincer things on top of its head, which is part of its name, obviously. I quite enjoy that. I think that's quite cool. It's a very, very B tier Pokemon, I think. Taurus is a bull with 3 tails, which whips itself in a sadomasochistic way to get itself charged up and pumped up and ready to go. Taurus is a bit of a C tier Pokemon. Now, we're about to see a glow up right now. Magikarp, obviously D tier, terrible. Gyarados, boom, S tier. Gyarados is fucking awesome. If you don't have Gyarados as your water Pokemon, I'd be very surprised. Gyarados, I think, has made it into my party in virtually every version of the game I've played, even though it's got a 4 times weakness to electric, which, you know, isn't the best. But Gyarados is super cool. Supposedly an omen of destruction, which, you know, should be a Metallica or Iron Maiden album, to be honest. Omen of destruction. Yeah, Gyarados is super cool. We love a good Gyarados. Lapras, while looking seductive, is an alright Pokemon. The quintessential teach it surf and that's all it does Pokemon. I don't know what it's supposed to be based on, but it's got a shell. I don't understand how that works. It makes me uncomfortable. It's looking a bit seductive. Lapras is a C tier Pokemon. Ditto is whatever you want it to be. So it could be an A tier, could be a D tier, therefore a B tier. Eevee is an absolute little cutie, all day, every day. Has 8 different evolutions, but for Gen 1 we're talking about 3 different evolutions. I quite like an Eevee. Eevee is an A tier Pokemon, very versatile. Fills in a slot because of its evolutions, very cool. Now, let's talk about its evolutions. Vaporeon has Vape in its name, so it is in fact a D tier Pokemon. Jolteon is edgy as fuck and cool as shit. Is absolutely an A tier Pokemon. It's kind of the electric Pokemon I would go for if a Pikachu wasn't involved. Flareon is also very cool. I do like a good Flareon. Again, if I'm filling in gaps in my team, usually it's a Jolteon or a Flareon I'm going for. I'm going to give Flareon A tier. That seems very fair to me. Still don't know what the fuck Porygon is. B tier. Omanyte has an almost cool like brush mustache look going, with just like googly eyes. It's alright. I quite like a good Omanyte. God, so hard to say. Omnistar, on the other hand, looks like he's about to ask me for money, and if I don't handle it, I'm going to get my butt tickled. Omnistar is in fact a D tier Pokemon. Kabuto is here for my soul, and if he doesn't get it, there'll be severe consequences. It's a C tier Pokemon. Kabutops, on the other hand, again, bring in the weapons. Other than that, not very cool looking. I think we're quite happy to keep Kabutops in C tier. Aerodactyl, the Pokemon that will never show up for me for Pokemon Go. Rock Flying, very formidable form. I'm not the biggest fan of Aerodactyl, but it is a dinosaur Pokemon, and as we know, dinosaurs are very cool. So Aerodactyl is going to be B tier. It's alright. Now, if we're talking about what different people are different Pokemon, we have Snorlax. Snorlax is every millennial also. We just want to sleep. Leave us alone. We just want to get fat and sleep. Give us McDonald's. Let us sleep. Snorlax is very cool. Very awesome. Massive inconvenience, but, you know, who isn't? A tier Pokemon all day, Snorlax. Articuno is an ice flying type Pokemon. Looks okay. It's not my favourite, but compared to the rest on this list, it's a B tier. Zapdos is, unsurprisingly, an S tier Pokemon. Not only is he the representative for Team Instinct, the best team on Pokemon Go, he's got the cool spiky aesthetic, he's got electricity, he's ready to just destroy all other flying types, even though he's a flying type himself. Very cool, very S tier. Moltres is a fire peacock who represents Team Valor, D tier. Dratini, Dratini's okay. There's not a lot to say about Dratini. It looks like an eel that got big ideas. So I'm fine with C tier. Dragonair Maybe controversial. Maybe. Dragonair is actually kind of cool. It's got like the beads going on. It's got a little cute little horn. Very cute looking Dragonair. Winged little ear tips as well. I'll be honest. I am quite happy to put Dragonair in A tier. Yeah, I like it. I like an A tier for Dragonair. And then we can compare it to Dragonite. Dragonite is like the most derpy looking dragon I've ever seen in any video game ever. It's like, hey guys, I'm here to deliver mail. I don't like it. I don't respect what's going on with it. It goes from looking very cool blue and white in Dratini and Dragonair to like a weird orange. The fuck is that all about? It's alright. Dragonite's fine. It's a B tier. Mewtwo, very cool. Took over an island, cloned Pokemon, turned the trainer into stone. I forget how the movie goes, but it got released again recently, so I'm going to watch it later. Mewtwo is a very cool Pokemon, very A tier Pokemon. And finally, we have Mew. Where do you put Mew? Mew can learn every HM in Generation 1, which is very cool. Makes it a very good HM slave. Its design is okay. Weirdly, I prefer Mewtwo's, even though its tail and crotch situation is kind of weird. Mew's kind of cute, actually, and very useful, very helpful, very adorable. I'm going to put A tier. Mew is fine in A tier, I think. And there we go. There's the Generation 1 Pokemon ranked. Maybe you agree, maybe you disagree. You're perfectly welcome to. There's a list that'll be available in the description below, so you can send me your own, let me know what you think. But I'm going to read the top 2 tiers, and then you guys can figure out the rest by yourselves. I'll scroll through. S tier is Bulbasaur, Psyduck, Growlithe. Let me do the poker rap. Bulbasaur, Psyduck, Growlithe, Machop, Gengar, Cypher, Gyarados, Zapdos. The very best A tier is Charizard, Squirtle, Blastoise, Beedrill, Arbok, Raichu, Sandshrew, Sandslash, Nidoqueen, Nidoking, Vulpix and Ninetails, Meowth, Primeape, Growlithe, Poliwrath, Alakazam, Machop, Geodude, Slowpoke, Cloyster, Hitmonchan, Rhydon, Seadra, Eevee, Jolteon, Flareon, Snorlax, Dragonair, Mewtwo, and Mew. Then after that, you guys can kind of see where I've put the other Pokemon. Again, if you disagree with this list and have any comments to make about this list, the link is in the description below to this tier list, so you can go ahead and link it to me and say what you think, and I'll tell you why you're wrong. If you enjoyed this video, there are many more available on youtube.com/JesterOnDemand. To see my live content, twitch.tv/Jestertainment, and see what I'm ranting about this week, twitter.com/Jestertainment_. If you want to do anything else to do with this channel and content, the description below holds all the links with helpful descriptions about where they go to. But for now, guys, have a great one. Thank you very much for watching this video, and I shall see you in the next one. See ya!
Goodbye.